So what's the Grape Explorer talking about today? So, I'm all about discovery. I love Bordeaux. I'm very passionate about it. And I'm always looking for value. Those are three things that I want to share with you today because we found something really, really cool. And this right here is called Fleur Saint Bonnet. And this is from an area called Medoc. I don't actually talk about Medoc, so I'm going to really pinpoint it on the map because we're going to go all the way up here to the Medoc region here. And this is in a commune right here, which is called Saint Christoli Medoc. And look at its proximity to the river. What does David always say? The proximity of the river makes really great wines. But there's a little bit of a history behind this property. So, shout out to the Faget family. So, but I wanted to point also in Hugh Johnson, because Hugh's really good at pointing these, pinpointing these right on the map here. You can see Saint Christoli. And actually, this area is called Saint Bonnet, and there's quite a number of properties that actually share this this name. And but Fleur Saint Bonnet was bought by Amelie and Fabien Faget. And Fabien is actually interesting chap. He's actually the winemaker of Chateau Meyney, which is a top level property in Saint-Estèphe. So their dream, Emily and Fabien, was to own a chateau. Isn't it all our dreams and everything like that? But these are true winemaker people, and they're actually doing another property that we've showcased in the Côte de Gascon. But they also sent us some of these bottles to taste. This is 2019 from this property. And I always told people, if you really pay attention to where the value is in Bordeaux, you have to look at the region, because so this is how you look at a map. Not a map, but I should say a wine, how to read a wine label. And you can see right here it says Medoc on the bottle. And usually when you see a sign on the label Medoc, that's usually going to tell you that that's pure value, because there is no wines that exist in this area that's going to be really, anything above $50. Very few and far between. This wine nestles in around $15.99, to $18 a bottle. So I consider that to be a great value. It's 60% Merlot, 40% Cabernet Sauvignon, so it does have a high percentage of Cabernet in the cut. But I'm going to explain a little bit about this area here, because a lot of people might not have known. But historically, this area would flood, especially in the wintertime, with the river here. So this whole area became very like a marshland, all at the top of the chain here. So they actually called in the Dutch Corps of Engineers, because the Dutch were very, if you want to say, engineers towards flooding, because even in Holland, you'd get a lot of flooding. So they actually knew how to maintain, this type of problem, because it does create a problem every year in flooding. So if you've ever really wanted to go to this area right here, you'd be surprised, because you'll see windmills, and they actually call this Little Holland. And quite a number of the windmills were put in here to actually dry up this marshland to make this this area a viticultural area. So, but it's got a lot of clay from centuries of erosion here too. So, but the soil composition here is quite unique, and it does give the wines a close proximity to Saint-Estèphe. So if you taste Saint-Estèphe, these wines have a lot of that same kind of clay character. So we're just pushing a little bit north here. And of course, Saint-Estèphe, you've got some of the most illustrious names that are producing wine in this area for a number of reasons. But again, look at the proximity of the river. And this Saint Christoli right here, Medoc, is exactly where this wine is located. So I do a lot of research, obviously, when I look for wines, but I'm always looking for talent. And this Fabien Faget right now is really a name to follow, especially if nobody's ever tasted Meyney. We'll talk about Meyney another time, but those are fabulous wines. And so again, this is a passion and a dream for a couple, to be in this area. So shout out to them. And but let's smell the wine a little bit. So you do get that clay, but you get also the beautiful red fruits, blue fruits. They kind of just leap from the glass. Again, this is 2019, so I always tell people that was a very, very good year, for Bordeaux, and especially perfect ripening grapes for Cabernet and Merlot. And you can see on the legs in this wine, so it just oozes with characteristics of deep, medium to full-bodied fruit, and nice color. And again, you know, this is value, and a lot of people don't realize that Bordeaux is one of the best value areas in all of the world. You just have to know where to search. And when I say that, these wines fly under the radar. That's why you'll never see them change too much in price. But at the same time, this is really a great, you know, values. But let's taste this wine. Well, it's lovely. It's got beautiful, if you want to say, acidity and tannin structure in the fruit. This is a wine that I think you can actually age too. I think you can put this away for a couple of years, but it's just beautiful fruit right now. And I think that this is the kind of wine, again, that Americans should search out for because, you know, with the rising prices of Napa Valley and also the rising prices of some other areas, Bordeaux is a wine on the march, and you need to pay attention to these wines because now the euro is $1.06, so these wines are coming down in price. So, but we really wanted to share this with you because I think, again, it's discovery. It's you have to be open-minded to try a lot of these wines, but just remember the name Medoc, and remember at this top of the Gironde here. This is the best values on the left bank, we call it, the left side of the river. The Medoc is the best values right here. This is where, you know, you find some of these wines that are just terrific. Just pay attention to Medoc because if you see them on the shelf, a lot of these wines have the same characteristics. Again, this Grape Explorer, we're always here to try to not only educate, but to give a little insight on what I think could be a true treasure of find for you out there in the market. Cheers.